This is one of the best and easiest solar builds after the Season 21 changes. It's going to turn you into a Terminator by allowing your weapons to constantly deal 160% damage, with some specific weapons like Tico's Divination reaching 315%. But damage is not all that this build has to offer, because with Restoration ×2 getting extended with every single kill that you get, you will literally be unkillable. And my favorite part about this build is the simplicity, as all it requires you to do is to get kills with a weapon. And luckily for us, we have plenty of good solar weapons out there, and I'm going to cover every single one in this video. Starting off, let's talk about the exotic that makes this possible. Mantle of Battle Harmony has been reworked to now provide a 25% damage boost to weapons matching your subclass type instead of the original 20% every time you get a kill while your super is fully charged up. Now, if your super is not fully charged up, then instead you will get more super energy, allowing you to get your super relatively quick. The only problem is that now Mantle doesn't stack with leg surges, and instead it stacks with Empowering Rift. This seems all nice until you realize that first of all, no one likes to use Empowering Rift, and second of all, we already have Radiant for the Solar subclass, and Radiant doesn't stack with Empowering Rift. And since you'll be using Radiant 99% of the time, Empowering Rift straight up becomes useless. There's one good thing that they did, and that is increasing the duration of the damage boost from 6 to 10 seconds, which allows for some room to breathe when using this exotic. So, as we know, we are going to be getting a free 25% damage boost from Mantle of Battle Harmony. The other 25% comes from the Radiant buff, which is extremely easy to activate with our fragment Ember of Torches, and even easier to keep up thanks to Ember of Empyrean, which will also extend the duration of Restoration ×2 after we gain it from our healing grenade. I really like how this pairs up, because it basically means that as long as you're killing at least one enemy every 10 seconds, you will basically be a god in this game, because each kill extends your Radiant, Restoration and exotic buff. Where this build gets even crazier is when you pair it up with already hard-hitting weapons that have built-in damage boosts like Tico's Divination Catalyst, doubling the damage you deal at max stacks, Vex Mythoclast with the Rampage buff on kills, or even Taraba and Tommy's Matchbook ramping up to some insane damage. For easier content up to Legend, I love using weapons such as Sunshot, Tommy's Matchbook and Taraba, where you can get close and personal without worrying about dying. But when it comes to a bit more challenging content such as Master and Grandmasters, I like to stick to the safer options such as Tico's Divination, Hierarchy of Needs, Vex Mythoclast or even Staccato. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't take Tommy's Matchbook into a Grandmaster, it just means that you'll struggle a bit more compared to the other weapons I mentioned. A couple of honorable mentions are Prometheus Lens and Acacia's Dejections, since this season we have Overload Trace Rifles, meaning you can safely have some fun scorching enemies with these amazing weapons. Now that I have covered the most important parts of this build, let me show you the aspects, fragments and mods. Ability wise, you can use any class ability that you want, however I don't recommend using Empowering Rift since we already have Radiant. Phoenix Dive and Healing Rift are both excellent choices. Your melee is also personal preference, however for your grenade you want to use Healing Grenades, because this is going to provide us with the Restoration ×2. For our first aspect you can either use Heat Rises or Icarus Dash, both are perfectly fine, however Touch of Flame is a must because it's going to enhance our grenade to give us that Restoration ×2. Fragment wise we are using Ember of Solace, that way we can have a higher duration on our Radiant and Restoration, followed by Ember of Empyrean so we can extend both buffs, and then Ember of Torches, that way we can become Radiant thanks to our melee, and then Ember of Mercy, which is personal preference, you can switch this out for any other fragment. I just like to have the Restoration whenever I'm reviving teammates because it comes in very handy. Mod wise, on our helmet we are using Harmonic Siphon to create Orbs of Power, and then heavy ammo finder with heavy ammo scout, so we can make heavy ammo for ourselves and for our teammates. On our gauntlets we are using double impact induction with focusing strike, so we can get our grenade and our class ability faster. You can also replace one of the impact inductions with a grenade kickstart. Chestplate is pretty standard with triple resist mods. On the leg armor we have stack on stacks with innervation and recuperation. And then on our class item we have explosive finisher. That way we can get a nice chunk of grenade energy whenever we finish an enemy, followed by proximity ward for that overshield when finishing enemies, and then bomber so we can get grenade energy every time we use our class ability. When it comes to playing this build, the loop is very simple. You want to use your melee and your healing grenade as you're about to fight enemies. And then simply, thanks to Ember of Empyrean, you will be extending restoration times 2 and radiant as long as you keep killing enemies. With Ember of Mercy, you will also get and provide your allies with restoration when you revive them, so you can go for those riskier revives without worrying about dying. Ideally, you want to save your super so you can use that 25% damage boost, but if you're in a position where you have to use it, then don't be afraid to do so, since Mantle also provides you with a ton of super energy when killing enemies, so you will get it back in no time. And that is all that I have for you guys today. I really hope that you enjoyed this build, and as always, have a wonderful rest of your day.